G'day everyone and welcome to another episode of Bushcraft and Camping Adventures. We've returned to the campsite to find it perfectly in condition. So we've finally achieved that milestone. The tarp system works, we've had some serious rain and wind, and it's like it is untouched. So that's really, really good. Today we are getting cracking on building our bushcraft stove. I don't know how we're going to go. I've got a limited supply of clay and I'm just going to dig a hole and hope I find some natural clay in the ground, or at least some clayey soil. I'll be mixing some debris in with my clay / soil mix and just hoping that it will form what I want it to form. I've never done this before and this is a first for me, well, obviously. So I'll be doing that today. I'll also be building the frame of the actual stove from these bad boys here. So these things are everywhere. I'm pretty sure it's sausage, it's a native grass, and I'll be using the dead parts. I'll be using that to shape it because it's flexible, it's malleable, because even if the wood inside breaks, it still holds its shape to a degree because of the exterior coating, so to speak, of the old leaves on there. I'll also be adding more decoration onto the shelter. I call it decoration loosely. I don't know if it's strictly a decoration as such, but I've got some bits and pieces together and I want to keep building this rustic, as I said, rustified look onto this shelter so it looks a little bit different from everything else you see around. Creativity is a big part of who I am and I want to, see what can happen. If it turns out horrible, it turns out horrible. So I hope you enjoy this episode. Let's get to digging that hole because I need to find some extra clay. So let's do that. Now I have cheated. I've bought a shovel, at least $4 worth, at least. Maybe $5 worth. Now one thing about finding clay is that you can increase your odds by going to an area of the land that is naturally lower lying, where water may pool. Now, I'm not exactly down near the creek down there. Now I did do a really good look of the creek and bizarrely, I can't find any traces of clay down there. It's the first time I've ever seen such a thing. It's probably down there, but considering there's nothing blatantly obvious, I'm just going to do it here because the lugging all that clay up here is extra work that if I can get around not needing to do, then I won't do it. All right, well, there's absolutely no color change and there's no clay here. Let me show you. Very sandy, which is good. The sand content is a good thing. The clay content is not a good thing. Man, it really is cold today. Got 2 jumpers on. Anyway, winter's coming on. We've got single-digit days in the bush. So I got to go down to the waterfall to get the water now. Obviously, to make the clay. All this has to do is hold shape. That's it. That's all it's got to do, and retain heat, which the nature of biomass, it will do that. But that's all I'm looking for here, something to maintain heat and hold its shape. And if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. Never done it before. I'll be back with some water. We have our water. We have our clay. Again, this was not sourced locally. I just happened to stumble across this clay years ago and just held onto it, and now I'm going to use it. We have our sandy soil. It's not a huge thing. As you can see, it's not designed to be a huge thing. Just small enough to fit in a little bit of food and to project some warmth out my way when I sleep here. Now, the other thing I found is this. Now, what's the use of this, I hear you ask? Well, let's have a look here. You can see there's some pooling of water here from the tarp. So my proposal, to dig a hole, place that in. I found myself a curved piece of really thick woody bark and I can connect that here, and the idea will be to capture the runoff and divert it down there. And I've also got plans for this entire area right here, so it should be a really nice system, but that's for later. That's not for today, I don't believe. Okay, so before we actually do the mixture, we need to craft the beams. So we got to measure, bend or shape, and then bind the base of the beams together to create a basic ribs upon which we can build the structure. So that's what I'm doing now. I'm going to build 5, maybe 6 basic ribs, and then I will move on to the next phase of building the actual support structure itself. So on to phase 2, making the clay. It's such a shame I couldn't get more of this clay. I'm really nervous about mixing it in with this soil. I'm just not entirely sure it's the right solution here. But we'll find out. What I'm doing is I'm just, instead of mixing the water straight into the soil and the clay, I'm actually going to mix the water in with the clay, soften up the clay, seeing that's got to be mixed through anyway, and use that clay water to mix in with everything else. Alright, so I don't have enough clay, which I kind of half expected to happen, but I hoped it wouldn't. And I absolutely need probably twice that amount again. So what I'm going to have to do is do an emergency bake. I've only got about 2 hours until I got to leave. So I'm going to cheat with the fire. I'm going to get some coals in there fast and just try and have a safe fire because there's a lot of exposed wood. And that can go wrong real quick. And then because I bought it up here, a bit of fat wood. Because everyone loves a bit of fat wood. Well, there's the first I didn't expect today. First fire in the shelter. That is very ugly, but fear not. Once again, I have a plan. Time to see if I can build that little impromptu drainage system. Let's see how we go. I like a little bit of creative flair, and that's cool. This will need replacing every now and then, which will be easy to do, but the idea is that the moss will absorb the water and then the water will take the easiest path, or should I say the path of least resistance down here, and it will do what it does here. I'll build a little channel there, but I think that looks pretty cool. that's the end of this episode. I got in some decorating last week, and I don't know if I love it or hate it. It's definitely a work in progress. I see what I'm trying to do, and I'm sure you guys see what I'm trying to do, but not quite there yet. Ran out of time today. But the natural look, it'll develop. It'll be fine. I'm liking it because I know where it's going up here, and hopefully it goes that way. The bushcraft stove is a disaster in progress. Bear with me on that. I'm sure it'll come good, and if it doesn't, it'll be a famous failure. I've had a couple of those already. So that's it. So thank you for watching. It's been an enjoyable day out here. Got a lot done. I'm not sure how much of it was actually good, but I got it done anyway. So thanks for watching. And till next time, see you later. Bye for now. See you, dudes.